Welcome to Make It Happen with me, your host, Maggie. Today, I am sharing with you my nutritional formula to achieve nutritional bliss, if that's a thing. Basically, today's episode is focused around how you can eat food that you enjoy, not be a slave to the kitchen, and yet keep your meals healthy and balanced, as well as what quote-unquote balanced means to me. There are so many challenges when it comes to nutrition and so many varying pieces of advice out there. I know it can be overwhelming. So let's push overwhelm to the side and talk about adjustments that you can make simply to your nutrition to make a profound impact on how you feel. First, if you're used to fast food, grab-and-go meals from a convenience store, or lots of processed or fried foods for the majority of your meals, then yes, you are probably in for an awakening. But hear me out today and trust that what I have to share with you is not only simple and attainable, but will help you to feel good in ways that you may never have felt or experienced before. Next, I want you to remove the barrier of what you think it takes to make healthy food at home. This is a big one. We tend to overcomplicate what it takes to eat healthy, or automatically assume that it's not going to taste good, take too much of your time, or not be satisfying. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Not only can making your own meals improve your waistline and a number of other health metrics, but it can save you tons of money too. And I call that a win-win situation. I think it's important to mention that I thoroughly enjoy eating out. We have a few favorite go-to places that we love to visit regularly. And we do, but quote, regular doesn't mean daily. Eating out, even when you pick healthier options, still almost always costs more and is higher in calories than what you can fix at home. I prefer to make most of my meals at home because one, it saves money, and two, I have control over what I'm consuming. But just like you, I am busy and I do not have the time, nor do I want to create the time, to spend hours in the kitchen. When the mojo hits and I want to bake cookies or banana bread, I go for it. But having to spend a lot of time prepping or preparing healthy meals is not something I want to allocate my time to regularly. I have better things to do, but nutrition matters and it is a priority for me. So here are a few simple and doable tips to make eating at home quick and healthy, because it is the best way to own your nutrition and lend a hand to helping you feel good all around. Start by making sure that you have some good staples on hand. Think staples that don't expire quickly. A few examples would be brown rice, quinoa, frozen chicken breast, canned tuna, frozen vegetables, salsa, pasta sauce, and beans. Load up on staples when you see them on sale. This helps to just make sure that you're always armed with healthy options, even if you haven't made it to the grocery and your fridge is relatively bare. Weekly or bi-weekly, purchase some simple, fresh items to round out what would be a healthy and balanced diet. This would include items like eggs, avocado, berries, bananas, Greek yogurt, ground beef, fresh fish or chicken, lettuce, spaghetti squash, and cucumbers. Before going further, here's my take on what a quote, healthy and balanced diet entails. And remember, I am not here to sell you on a certain dietary approach, nor am I saying that my way is the holy grail. But I do believe that this approach works for most people and can certainly help on your quest to improve your nutrition and therefore to feel better as well. In my opinion, a healthy and balanced diet does not exclude your favorite things, but it does prioritize choosing nutrient-dense foods that provide a healthy balance and a variety of macro and micronutrients. Macronutrients are those that give calories to the food you eat. These are the carbohydrates, the proteins, and the fats in your food. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals in the foods. They don't provide calories, but they do matter when it comes to fueling your body with the nutrition it needs to feel your best. I know it can feel overwhelming and maybe confusing at first, but creating a quote, healthy balance to your nutrition starts with looking at each meal from a big picture view. Here is how I recommend thinking about your plate, so to speak. Pick a base protein, then create a meal around it. You can use a staple like canned tuna or a fresh option like eggs and go from there to add in healthy carbohydrates and fats. Why protein? Well, for a million reasons, but here are 4. Reason number 1, it is filling, and usually when we eat, we want to satisfy hunger. Reason number 2, protein is more thermogenic than both carbs and fat. This means that digesting protein burns more calories than the other macronutrients. This is important whether you're on a weight loss journey or not, because our metabolism is always important and protein helps to give it a boost. Number 3, if we take in more protein than we need, it is not likely to be converted into fat. The process of converting protein into fat is inefficient, and so it's not something that our body is going to prioritize doing. Instead, excess protein will likely be oxidized for energy either immediately or stored in our muscles for energy later. And reason number 4 is that if you're restricting calories on a quest to lose weight, keeping your protein high helps to preserve muscle mass. This is important because no matter who you are, when we say we want to, quote, lose weight, we all mean lose fat, not muscle, and consuming enough protein helps with this. So let's put some balanced meal building into action. Canned tuna or chicken is a fabulous staple for a quick meal, especially if you don't have a good protein option already cooked and in the fridge. Add some plain Greek yogurt, avocado, dill relish, and tuna to a bowl to make a healthy and protein-packed tuna salad. You might choose to add some crunchy cucumbers and tomatoes and eat with whole grain crackers. Or you might put the tuna salad on some sourdough bread for a delicious sandwich and have some sliced cucumbers on the side. Try sprinkling your cucumbers with salt and pepper. It is super yummy. Or maybe you choose the fresh option and the protein like eggs. They might be hard-boiled and ready to eat or take 5 minutes to scramble on the stove. Either way, you could put them in a low-carb wrap or pita with some chicken sausage and serve with a side of fresh vegetables and hummus. Or you could make an egg scramble and throw it together with some cheese, spinach, and sausage in a bowl. What I want you to see is that you can take a protein base and build a meal around it that is healthy and balanced, plus tastes good and doesn't take much of your time. The goal of a healthy, balanced diet is to find a macronutrient balance that feels good for your body and get your micronutrients in at the same time by prioritizing foods that are whole versus processed and contain lots of vitamins and minerals. Not every meal needs to be a perfect balance. In fact, notice I'm not even sharing what I would consider a, quote, perfect balance of macronutrients each day, because an ideal macronutrient balance is different for each of us. Variety is good, balance is attainable, and you will feel better when you practice that in your nutrition game. Don't be afraid of trying something new and get creative with what you have on hand. Sometimes a favorite meal of mine is actually created this very way. The other day, I was getting to the point where I could definitely make a grocery trip. The fridge was pretty bare, but I did have some frozen broccoli, canned chicken, baked red potatoes that were already cooked and in the fridge, along with some cottage cheese and salsa. I decided to top the potato with the chicken straight from the can, just shredded it with a fork, then cottage cheese and salsa on top, quickly cooked the frozen broccoli, topping it with my favorite vegetable addition, nutritional yeast, and voila! I really have discovered some of my favorite meals just by picking a few things that I had on hand that I didn't want to go bad, or by pulling from staples when I was running out of fresh options. Prioritize protein and then build around it with fruits, veggies, whole grains, and healthy fats. You don't need a recipe when it comes to keeping it simple and healthy on a daily basis. But if you do need some guidance over and above today's episode, I do have 5 meal plans available on my website for you. These aren't meal plans as a prescribed way to eat, but collections of my favorite go-to recipes that also use minimal ingredients, are quick and simple to prepare, and reflect this balance that I am encouraging you to achieve today. I'll leave the link to these in the show notes in case you want to check them out. I hope that today's episode was helpful on your quest to improve your nutrition, and that it helped to put in perspective just how simple it really can be to prepare and eat a healthy, balanced diet. Don't overcomplicate it. Remember, when you start to feel overwhelmed, take a step back. It is not complicated. It just might take some time and practice, and that's okay. I got your back for that. Until next time, go make it happen.